This is your one and only FireSpark81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and welcome back to Arc Aberration. I got some awesome Aberration tips for you today, so let's get to it. Alright, we're up here in the sky. The first tip we're going to talk about is the Wingsuit. A lot of you may not realize, but the Wingsuit actually allows you to control yourself a little more than just turning around. If you hold down the shift key and you look up, you actually slow down. It's kind of like a brake, and if you slow down too much, you actually dive bomb out of the air. Now, you can dive bomb on your own. We're going to kind of get over the water here just in case this goes horribly wrong. If you hold down, continue holding down the shift key and you look down, you will actually do a full-on dive bomb. And if you time it right, you can actually pick up speed and then use that to gain a little bit of altitude. Not much. You can't fly forever with this thing, but you can get a little bit of extra distance. So let's try that one more time. I'll see if I can manage to pull it off and not dive bomb into the water here. All right, here we are. Now we're nice and high and we're getting a good glide going. So if we dive bomb like so and then look up and then let go of shift, you can get a lot more control. See that? Dive bomb and then look up and then just kind of let go of shift, and you'll level out slightly lower than what you top out at. But it allows you to continue to go a little further and have a little more control. And especially if you're trying to, say, land on your base, you can like dive down, get a nice straight strafe going there, and we're gonna attempt to land on this platform, and then you can get a nice break going. Don't break too much, like I said, you'll completely fall out of the air, but you can get a little more control on landing and coming in close to grapple as well with the hooks. If you break upwards and come in, you can see we get nice and slow, and well, I just landed there, so you know that works as well. Alright, so yeah, just holding down shift, remember, look up, break, look down, dive bomb. Okay, the next thing we're going to take a look at here is ziplines. Now, when you have your zipline ammo connected like this, and you probably want to shoot like out first and then connect it somewhere, and no, don't do that. That's backwards. What you want to do is you want to shoot where you're at and connect it. So like we'll shoot here, anchor it there, and then you can see how far you can anchor it out. It gives you that green line to show you how far you can shoot, so you know that when it turns red, that's too far and it's not gonna work. So let's see if we can get it to turn red. You can see that it shoots pretty far, so right about like out there, it turned red right there. So like that tells you you're not gonna be able to anchor it there, but as long as you see the green line, you're gonna know that you have an anchor spot. So remember, always anchor it near you first. Now, if you don't want to waste that ammo, say you have it in a bad location and it's not going to work and you don't like it, all you have to do is just unequip your crossbow. So just hit Q, and you can see down there at the bottom, we didn't lose any ammo. Watch, I can do it again. I only have 4, so watch, I'll shoot it. There we go. And then you reload the next one, and then just a Q, disable it. You don't lose any ammo. So remember that, if you're always shoot near you first, and that gives you a chance. If you screw up, then no big deal. Just hit Q and or whatever your key is to unequip the item, and you'll just unequip your bow and it breaks it and you don't lose your ammo. The other thing to remember is to shoot it at about head height and somewhere where you can easily access it. So like we want to shoot it right about here like that. And then that way we can just walk up to it and hit E and give yourself plenty of room so to do so. Don't put it too close to, you know, down below your thing here, or too close to your foundation, or you'll just come right off of it. So that actually might not be, let's just do just a little bit higher. So just a little bit higher than head height. So right about there should be good. And you can get right up on it, it's no big deal. So just anchor it right there like that, and then we're gonna anchor the other one. Let's I can't see because the line's actually in the way. If I move away from it a little bit, I can see. So let's just anchor it right about there. That works. Okay, now you'll see that it anchored just fine and everything's good, and we can apparently glitch. Hold on, let's try that again. There we go. Now we can walk up to it and hit E, and there you go. And you go right down it without any issues, and it's nice and clear sailing. So that's how you properly do a zip line, just like that. Now, the other thing I want to touch on here is that Ravengers can actually jump on zip lines, the wild ones. So I'm sure you're aware that your tame one can as well, but make sure you're putting your zip line in a way that is going to protect it from wild Ravengers, because wild Ravengers will actually jump on your zip line and show up in your base. So that's just an extra little bonus tip there when it comes to zip lines. Put them in a way that's hard for wild Ravengers to get on them. And our next tip is all about the red mushrooms. So I'm sure you know that stepping on red mushrooms can cause a horrible psychedelic reaction, although it is not all red mushrooms. There are two different kinds, and I have a perfect example right here. There is this one, which is the psychedelic one, and you can see that it just affected us. And now we got the psychedelic craziness. Now that that's worn off, we should be good. So you see the difference in them is that the red bottom ones, see how it's capped kind of different? Like those have a round cap. These have more of like a pointed cap, and they have red on the bottom. Now, the other cool thing about those is, I'm sure you've been wondering if you've been playing this a while, how can I get the biotoxin and rare flowers without, where do I get rare flowers to begin with, and how can I get biotoxin without hunting jellyfish? Well, if you get one of these old thumbsaurs here, aka the iguanodon, they can actually harvest those red mushrooms. So we come up to it like that, and you can see I got 35 biotoxin and 18 rare flowers. So it's a great source of biotoxin and rare flowers. Just get one of these guys, come right up to it, just hit them like that, and you can harvest them. So you just run around, look and see, there's another one. Just keep an eye out for that red base and the pointed cap, and if we can manage to hit that one, there you go. More biotoxin. Let's take care of this guy real quick. There we go. Had to make short work of him. So yeah, just a little tip there. You can get tons of biotoxin from those, and it's gonna vary depending on what your server rates are. Ours are a little high here, but yeah, I mean yours may be higher, they may be lower. It's gonna vary depending on your server rate, but just keep an eye out for those mushrooms. Those pointed caps are the ones that you want to worry about. See, I can run over these all day long and they don't do anything. It's only the red base pointed capped ones. All right, the next tip I have for you is you cannot use grapple hooks to connect to any surface in this map. So Aberration has completely disabled grappling hooks, and is kind of dumb because you cannot even connect to your own structures. You see there, just tried to connect to my own structure, could not do it. You can, however, connect to dinos. So if you look there, I can connect to my dino and use that if I wanted to. You can see we could just use that the same as you would your normal grapple. So if you want to grapple around and get up to your base and just have a single dino at the edge of it, and you want to use that to grapple up to your base, you could do that, but you cannot use it to connect to any other surface. You can connect to wild dinos and players, but that is it. No structures, nothing. However, there is a mod called The Last Grapple that will allow you to use your grappling hook again. So if you're playing on the PC version and you want to be able to use a grappling hook, which you should be able to on this map anyway, in my opinion, go get The Last Grapple. I'll put a link to it in the description. It's highly configurable. You can configure how long you want the grapple to be able to shoot to, how long you want your rope, how quick you want it to wind up or wind down, and it works just like a grapple should, like it works on any other Arc map. So just a little quick tip there for you. Okay, the last tip I have for you today is in the form of metal. So you may think that metal is rather rare on this map, and it is not. There is a lot of metal everywhere. You just got to know where to look. If you look here at these blue rocks, and I don't have a GPS on me just yet, but I can show you on the map where about you want to be. So let's take a look at the map here. So we're over here in this blue area here, about to 35, 65-ish area, and they're all over. These blue rocks are actually all over as you get deeper into the map and away from the starting areas, and you can get a ton of metal. Depending on your server rates, you can get a ton of metal from these things. So here we go. We're on a 3 time, so that's it 3 times. So metal is on the map. You just gotta know where to look. So if we go here and we hit this one, you can see tons of metal. Tons of metal, and like I said, we're at I think 3 times. We're either 3 or 5 times. I'm thinking 3. I want to say 3 on resources. So, but yours is going to vary depending on what server you play on. But there is metal everywhere. Do not fear. When I first started playing it, I thought that there wasn't a whole lot of metal. So like that blue rock there is going to give metal, and yeah, it's pretty much any of these blue rocks that have like the blue markings on them. I've tested all of those and they all give tons of metal. So we hit this one here, you can see not really a whole lot of metal in that one. This, essentially a metal node. So just something to keep an eye out for when you're out and about. Like I said, these blue rocks are scattered everywhere. So if you see them, you know that that is going to be a source of metal for you. All right, well, that's all the tips I have for you this week, so that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Before I go, I just want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for all of your support. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to help support this channel through Patreon, please check out the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy and you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and show your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.